is really interesting, and it has changed a lot. And it's largely not because of, say, the FTC. I mean, it is because of the FTC and like the government regulators and all that kind of stuff. But the real thing pushing compliance changes that I've seen is Facebook and Google and YouTube, right? It's the places where you can actually run ads. That has forced compliance. When I started at ClickBank 8 years ago, there's a big compliance change that we made. I remember a whole bunch of clients left because we made this line in the sand for compliance, and all these clients are going to have to change all their VSLs and change all their copy and all this kind of stuff. And so they just left to another platform, which then folded like 6 months later because they couldn't scale with those clients, and they all came back. But the point is that compliance is always changing and always, I guess you could call it improving. And marketers would not say it's improving, and saying it's being inhibitive. But what's happening is Google's and Facebook's and all these platforms, they need a good user experience. You see the same thing in search engine optimization or SEO. Google pushes changes to benefit the user, right? The person actually using Google. Say with someone on Facebook. Facebook pushes changes to benefit those people using Facebook because that's how Facebook makes money, is having more people on Facebook watching ads. So if your ads take away from that user experience because it takes them to a site that is aggressive, makes people feel bad, all that kind of stuff, Facebook pushes different compliance. And then they also don't want to get in trouble with FTC. So they have some standards that are layered in there. But marketers would probably not really follow the FTC compliance. Just because the FTC said this, they're going to follow it because they have to, because Facebook says this, because that's who's controlling the money back. When ClickBank made that change 8 years ago to force some things that could be a lot more in line with FTC compliance, people left. Now, when I see copy, it's usually pretty compliant because people are writing it for Facebook compliance or YouTube compliance and things like that, because they want to be able to run these offers on those programs. But that's why you'll see things now, and the trend has shifted to where you don't just have one offer and it's everywhere. You'll have your Facebook compliant landing page here. You'll have your Taboola compliant landing page here, and it's got a different header, and it's got advertisement there, and it's got video play controls, and you've got all this. Then you've got your more aggressive page for emailers because they don't care quite as much because they assume people aren't going to see it as much or something. So you've got these different levels of compliant landers depending on where the traffic's coming from and how the traffic's hitting it. The other thing too is that the big shift has been that direct response used to be way over here in this little corner of the world, and e-com and brand stuff was all over here. And that's still largely the case, but there's more and more people coming to the middle. And what that does is then it means you've got this person who isn't just, I'm all branded e-com. I do a lot of customer acquisition that way, but I also have direct response performance channels running over here. And so maybe they're 60-40% customer acquisition, right? And you've got the flip over here. You've got someone who started in pure direct response and they've grown into more of an e-com brand. That's more longevity, and unless churning out new offers, it's more of a brand that can build for the long term. And you see both things happening, and that's happening more often because customer acquisition costs are going up. And then this brand can play in both ways where they need to suddenly change their copy over here because the FTC said something. They're okay because they've got a lot more stuff running on the e-com branded side. So they're a little bit more stable, have more of a moat around themselves. And I think we're going to see more brands trying to do that. And then they can also, right, the e-com brands can actually play in the performance space more and be more profitable, or at least have more customers coming in on that channel versus relying on more expensive branded marketing campaigns.